of game, I guess, that everyone expected you guys to win against a team like Campbell. Did you feel like you guys are back on track now, especially defensively? You get everything out of it that you want?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we did everything that we were supposed to do today. Playing against Campbell, a little bit lesser opponent, and we handled business like we should have. So definitely proud of us getting back on track and handling business today.
Cedric, what did you guys focus on?
Especially in regaining confidence.
Yeah, definitely getting some confidence back to them.
What did you guys focus on this week in preparation for this game?
Yeah, I mean, just getting back to watching film, understanding what they're trying to run as a defense, as an offense. Like I mentioned before earlier in the week, tempo has been a problem for us. We knew that is something that they were going to try to attack. And I think we handled that pretty well today. We were able to get the calls a little faster. Everybody was expecting tempo, so we got lined up faster. So really think we did a good job of executing that today.
Can you take me inside the film room and practice defensively this week? Who stood up? What was said? After Georgia Tech and then coming into today against Campbell.
Yeah, I mean, I think last Sunday, Coach Chiz had a great speech to the defense. He got after us and made us understood the different things and the reasons why we kind of lost that game. But it was very uplifting at the same time. Just telling us that we're going to get back on track, we're going to figure it out, pointing the things out. But not only that, he actually had every defensive coach step up and just kind of talk to us and just kind of give us, whatever they had to say. And I think that really kind of, gave us some confidence and really settled us down as a defense, kind of preparing for the week.
Is that kind of motivational kind of speeches, or the X and O kind of things, or just motivational? Yeah,
I mean, the one I'm referring to was more of a motivational one. Just kind of talking about, what happened from an emotional standpoint and different things like that, and how we just got to keep going and keeping our heads up and telling us we have everything still in front of us, our goals still in front of us. So it was a very motivating type speech.
Cedric, on one of those early drives came out, it seemed like you got particularly frustrated. I can't remember what play it was. You were kind of pointing to your head in reference of maybe one of the quarterback runs or something like that. Did you feel like early on some of those miscommunication errors you guys had these past 2 weeks kind of crept back? And did you feel like those kind of went away as the remainder of the game went on and you shut them out? What kind of changed, I guess, during that time?
Yeah, I mean, I think we kind of had a little bit of a moment on that drive, which is kind of why they were able to kind of get that long run. So I was just kind of, trying to encourage the guys on the sideline, get the call in quicker, different things like that. But like I said, we handled tempo very well today, very well. They were trying to do it as well, and we were able to stop it. So I'm proud of the way that we handled it throughout the day.
They were moving it a little bit there for a while. What was the difference in you guys just shutting it down? Because once you did, everything kind of opened up for you defensively. You guys started picking up sacks. There were a lot more more PBUs, that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I think one of the big things that you kind of talk about as a defense, if you stop a certain play, stop a certain strategy, it will tend to go away. They'll stop trying to do it. And I think that's kind of what happened today. Early on in the game, they were trying to tempo. And like I said, this is something that we put big emphasis on, and I think it really got across to us this week. We were lining up fast. The call was getting in quick. And I think that was just part of the problem why tempo was working before. We weren't lined up. We were confused on what our job was. Today, we weren't confused. And we were able to stop it. And as the game went on, they stopped going tempo.
So is it good for you guys that they came out and tried to replicate what Georgia Tech did, so you have a live first-hand opportunity to fix what didn't go right last week?
Yes. I definitely think we appreciated them coming out and working the tempo against us, and for us to be able to handle it well in a game like this and kind of moving forward throughout the rest of the season, because teams are still going to try it. Just because we stopped it versus Campbell doesn't mean they're not going to stop trying it. So we got to be prepared for it for the rest of the season.
Cedric, we saw a lot more. Go ahead. Yeah, we saw a lot more of Amari Campbell and Sebastian Cheeks today. What's kind of the next step for them as players like you depart, kind of taking that reign and kind of being, I guess, a more prominent part of that linebacker room moving forward into the next couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, they're the next guys up. Obviously, I'm planning on leaving after this year. I don't know what Power's plans are. But those guys got to step up, and I want to give a huge shout out to Amari Campbell. Since he's been here, he's been great for us. He's done all the right things. He's been improving and just an overall great player. And I'm calling it right now. You're all going to see big things from him for years to come. Proud of Sebastian Cheeks. He's had injuries, had to deal with things, and he went in there today and handled himself very well today. So I'm proud of the young boys and proud of them and continue to see their growth.
What about, just real quick, because you mentioned Campbell, what about his game kind of sticks out to you? I know that that's somebody you kind of, help develop and things like that, but what does he do well out there on the field to you?
Yeah, I think he just does a little bit of everything well. I think one of the biggest things is that he understands football and understands what we're trying to do as a defense. He's a smart kid. He's a physical player. He'll go hit you. He can cover. He can do it all, like I said. The more that he develops, the more that he gets filled and gets reps, he's going to be a great player for USC.
Max said the most important thing for this defense is stopping the run. How would you rate y'all's performance in that today?
Yeah, other than the long QB run, I feel like we did a pretty good job today of stopping the run, and there wasn't much yardage that they were getting today. So I think we handled that well today.
What were those conversations like throughout the week, talking about getting calls in quicker? Is that a conversation you have with, Gene from his perspective up in the booth, the guys are signaling down? I guess what were those conversations like, and what differences were made throughout the week?
Yeah, well, I think basically what we did, we just kind of had a plan. Okay, here are the 3-4 plays we're going to run when they go tempo. It's going to be one of these 3-4 plays, and Chiz is going to relay it to the signalers quick. And not only that, but like I said, we talked about getting lined up fast and expecting tempo. And I think we got up, lined up fast, expecting it. Everybody's getting to their spots, getting there. We got the call in, and we were able to line up and handle it.
You're talking about 3 or 4 plays. Is that something that wasn't necessarily put in place like before this week? Did you have maybe more options, and was that kind of creating some confusion?
Yeah, I don't think we kind of put a big emphasis. Okay, these are going to be the 3-4 plays we're going to run versus tempo. And I think when we did that this week, it was able to help us out.
How big were the punters?
Go ahead.
Thank you, Cedric. How big were the punter's eyes when you were bearing down? It looked like he was surveying and like.
In all honesty, my eyes got big because I was expecting him to, punt it, and I seen him dropping back for a pass. So I'm like, all right, just so I really wasn't even looking at his eyes. I was just like, why is he not punting the ball? So.
Ted, I was going to ask you, going back to that Sunday meeting, was that the first time Coach Chiz has thought about it that way, the way he talked to you than the assistant coaches? Is that something different, or is that?
Yeah, I think it was the first time that he brought assistant coaches up to kind of speak to us. I don't remember another time he really did that after a loss. But I think, like I said, his just overall message and just letting everybody speak, I just felt like it was very uplifting and a message that just kind of brought everybody together as a defense.
Did you speak or any of the players? Or
No, it was
coaches driven?
Yeah, it was just coaches.
In those punt situations, are you always on alert for a possible fake, or there's some tendencies that you guys know in advance they're going to be given? And you said you're totally surprised that they actually didn't.
Yeah, I'm always, on alert for punt, but, the particular, punt return play we had in it was, kind of a block. We were trying to get after them. So obviously I was rushing and trying to block the punt. And like I said, he just had the ball back to him. Usually on our, punts that we're just trying to hold them up, that's when I'm, kind of the guy who's watching for the fakes and different things like that. But it was a play call where I was, called upon to go block the punt, so that's what I was trying to do.
It looked like you guys went after it a couple of times, take more maybe than usual.
Yeah, that's actually something that, we actually talked about, the past few weeks is trying to block kicks, because I think for the first 6 games, we didn't try to block a kick at all. It was all hold up. So that was definitely something that we've been trying to do for the past 2 weeks.
All right. Thanks, Cedric. Appreciate it, Cedric.